Hello, everybody. This is Becky Mossbrucker with the Stronger Together Tribe podcast. And today we have with us Dr. Elizabeth Davidson, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her business and her practice and what it can do to help us. And then we'll dive a little bit deeper into her topics as we go along. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell us how you got started with your business and what it is.
Okay, well, I got started working in holistic health because I grew up as a really sick kid. And so I was always searching for solutions. And I discovered quite young that the more medications I took, the worse I felt. So I was always looking for something different. And what that led me to is to really dive deep into what makes someone healthy and how to build health. So rather than treating any illness, and I was diagnosed with a whole bunch of them, chronic
Oh,
illnesses, autoimmune illnesses, all that kind of stuff. But rather than focusing on the illness and treating that, I began focusing on building my health and really putting lots of things into place so I could always be healthier. And now, in my late 40s, I am much healthier than I was when I was 10. So, and I feel tons better. So it's worked.
oh, that's awesome. Well, I know that we all can use that because, you know, everybody's pretty much used to going to the doctor, I think, and describing their pains and ailments and just expecting a quick fix with some kind of a pill somewhere along the way. And, that maybe is not the best thing for our bodies, I'm sure, but a lot of us don't know any better, right? I mean, I don't have any experience in healthcare. I just do whatever the doctors tell me because I don't know any different. So I think having a more holistic approach to our healthcare is way better.
Hmm.
And, I find people will start looking stuff up on the internet, and I've had, like, my doctor's like, don't do that. Don't go try to find the answers, or don't go try to, look up this term and then you've decided that you've got cancer or something. And I'm like, what else? What else would I do? I don't know any different, right? So when someone gives you a diagnosis, so let's say if someone goes to the doctor and they give you a diagnosis, what would be the first thing you would tell that patient to do?
Well, so I actually don't believe in diagnosis,
Oh, okay, good.
just to clear that up. But I also don't disrespect, someone if they have a diagnosis already, I'm happy to work with them within that because I know a diagnosis can also be kind of comforting for people. But why I don't believe in diagnosis is because it's putting a name to some symptoms that someone has, and it often doesn't help them heal anything. So, what I find is kind of the biggest disconnect with people in their health is that they don't necessarily have the faith that they can heal themselves. So, all our healing power is within us. It's not in that doctor, it's not in that medication, it's all within us. And I mean, especially as women, like many of us created humans with our bodies, and we didn't have to think about it or do anything really. It just happened. And so if we can create humans with our bodies, we can heal our whatever the diagnosis may be or whatever the symptom may be. Like there's so much healing that we do all the time that we don't really appreciate. And I think that is the first step to really having better health is appreciating all the healing that we each do every day. Like if you cut yourself, what happens? It
Go get a
heals.
Band-Aid.
Yeah. But then within a couple days, you have new skin.
Oh,
And it can happen with any process that's going on in the body. So, the first piece that I look at with health is someone's mindset. Like, how are they feeling about what, how their health is? And do they really feel like they want to figure out what's wrong or do they want to build what's right? And helping them shift toward building more health rather than focusing on, oh, I have fibromyalgia, so I'm going to have this forever and I just have to manage it. That's what I was told when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, is that I would have it forever. And I could take various medications to manage the pain and the fatigue and all of that, but I was never going to get well. And it's like, no, I
No,
disagree.
that's the terrible, terrible thing to tell somebody.
I know. And so that's another thing that I encourage people is, if they go to a doctor and they do get a diagnosis or they're prescribed a medication, to really just take a moment and see how that feels for them. And if it feels really wrong, go with that, because our intuition is so strong and it tells us everything we need to know. And a lot of people will say they're not intuitive, but everyone is, because if
Yep.
you've ever had a gut feeling, that's your intuition. You've
Uh-huh.
had a gut feeling, yes. And what happened if you didn't follow a gut feeling?
Yeah, you feel like you missed something.
Yeah. And often it turns out really bad.
Hmm.
So that's your intuition. And that first gut feeling, if you get a diagnosis or you're prescribed something, that's what your intuition is saying is right. And so I'm not saying that it's always bad, to get a diagnosis or a prescription, but lots of times people just feel so icky when that happens. And that's a sign that you should be looking elsewhere for support in your health.
So
And
I've got a question for you about that real quick while I'm thinking about it. So my friend, one of my friends has been diagnosed with Crohn's disease,
Mhm.
and she is in a world of hurt. I mean, her gut is just tied up in knots.
Mhm.
She's tried 4 different medications, nothing works. They've got her on shots with Humira, and that's starting to not work. And she's like at her wit's end. She's like, I don't know what else to do. And then a couple of weeks ago, she lost her job. And now she's losing her health insurance because she has no job. I mean, it's just been one bad thing, stacked up on something else. And now she's just like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. And
Mhm.
I'm like, holy cow, she can't afford health insurance. She can't, I mean, some days she can't even function because she's in so much pain. So she's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, what would you tell her? I have no words to give her because I don't know anything about healthcare and that kind of issue. So I'm like, she can't afford to even go see anybody anymore because she doesn't have health insurance. So of course she's looking for a job, but that might be a couple of months before she actually gets health insurance again. So she's just, she's not happy with the diagnosis, but she's in pain. So, she started a bland diet, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know what else she can possibly do, but she's not happy for sure.
Well, one problem is health insurance doesn't cover health. It covers sickness. Like, in order to bill health insurance, you have to diagnose something wrong with someone, which was why I don't bill health insurance, because because I don't think there's anything wrong with anyone. I think our bodies are always doing the best they can with the information that they have, and making that information better is the key. So for your friend, I mean, one thing that I would have her do, like if she doesn't want to spend any money at all, there are things you can do without spending any money at all. And one thing is just to every day write down something that your body is doing really well. And
That's a good
it starts building your confidence in your ability to heal. And it may be tiny things like, like, oh, I cut my finger yesterday and today I can see that it's healing. That's a great thing. I mean, for her, one example that I often give is like digestion. I digested my breakfast today. For her, maybe that's not a great one, but but just little things like that. Or I woke up feeling rested today, or I fell asleep really easily last night. And when you write down something like that every day, it starts to shift your mindset about how your health is functioning. So that is one very simple thing that you can do. And then another thing that helps anyone is just to make sure that your sleep is really good. And I have a lot of resources that can help people with their sleep. But sleep is when you do all your healing. So lots of people who have chronic illness like Crohn's or any other thing, they don't sleep well, or they cut down their sleep in order to work more or play more or whatever it might be. But everyone should get at least 7.5 hours of sleep per night. That's the bare minimum. And there's lots of science behind that. I won't dive into it now because we don't have lots of time. But a great book resource is called Why We Sleep. It's by Matthew Walker, and can listen to it or read it or whatever. But there's a lot of good resources in there. So those are the two, like, very, very basics for improving any health condition are your mindset and your sleep. And then there's lots from there that, when I do a consult with someone, I dive deep into, like, I look at all the information that's in their blood work. So I read blood work from a functional perspective. And I look at their diet, their gut health, stuff like vitamin D, like we talked about earlier, and their MTHFR, which is a genetic condition that I have a way around, but many people who have chronic illnesses have a mutation in that gene sequence, and it can cause lots and lots of problems. So these are like other things that I dive deep into when I work with someone. And then when I train health coaches, I train them on how to find all of this information in a case history and blood work for someone, so that the individuals that we work with can really get a deep understanding of where their health is and how it can grow.
I think that's fantastic. I think a lot of people don't know where to start. So I think sometimes filling out questionnaires is good because then I think you can find the root problem. Like you're saying, sometimes we may not realize where this problem started, but we woke up one day and our knee hurts, and the next thing you know, your hip hurts and your back hurts, and then all these things hurt. And I'm like, holy cow, what in the world happened? I am not that old. And I think writing something down that's positive that happened that day is huge,
Mm-hmm.
just in the whole general mindset arena, right? Because you're right. Like if your mind is not set right, you're already going down a bad path. This happened to me. This is negative. This other thing happened to me. It's negative. I didn't sleep good last night. That's bad. I was up all night coughing. You can just go downhill real fast when you're on that negative train. And I
Yes.
never thought about mindset being part of the medical arena, really, until you just mentioned that. I wouldn't have thought that, but that I can see where that would certainly help you change the way you feel about your body and your problems that you're having physically. So that is very cool. Um, Talk about your training other health practitioners you were just talking about.
Oh, yeah. So I have a program. It's through my Revolution Health Building Academy that is designed to train holistic health coaches. And so when I talk about holistic health, my kind of unique spin on it is I talk about foundational health. So I want to help people grow the foundation of their health. And so there's a particular order of things. I already told you the first two, the mindset and the sleep. And so in my program, I train people to look at all these aspects of someone's health. And it goes from, training them in the mindset exercises all the way through reading blood work from a functional perspective. There's so much information in basic blood work about, like, chronic infections and gut health and vitamin D and all kinds of things that's hidden in there that I can train people to find. So yeah, it's a pretty amazing program, and I see it as the future of healthcare. I think we need a whole new system because right now we don't really have healthcare. It's all based on your sickness and your symptoms and stuff like that, and getting rid of your symptoms and finding your problems. Like even preventative, so-called preventative healthcare out there is like colonoscopies and mammograms, which are looking for problems. They're not preventing them, they're looking for them.
Yeah.
So that's why I created this program to train holistic health professionals in a system that builds health for their clients, and also a system where we as holistic professionals can have a common language. And so we're speaking in similar ways to the people. I really see the future of healthcare as being in the hands of the people. And the more we can learn about how health works, the better. And I think holistic health coaches are a great group of people to be teaching that. And building your health starts from the ground up, just like building a house. And so that's why I created the foundational health, and train people in that.
That sounds awesome because they may not know where to start. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they may want to do that, switch from, I don't know what you want to call it, regular medical practice into holistic, and maybe they don't have a clue how to get started. So that's sounds like a very good plan you have, and I'm glad that you're teaching more people how to do holistic stuff because
Yeah.
I definitely think that's the, like you said, doctors are not necessarily looking for the problem. They're just, let's fix it with a pill, let's fix it with whatever. And
Yeah.
I, you know, I I kind of feel the same way about chiropractors, although I'd never gone to one ever until about 2 years ago, and I got up one day from my chair and I could not get up. I couldn't, I mean, I was hunched over and I couldn't move. And my girlfriend was going to a chiropractor and she's like, you really got to go to this guy. He's really good and blah. And I did. And I went a lot and, went for like 2 years. And then I was like, I don't feel bad. So why should I keep going? And then they were calling me to see when I was coming back again. And I was like, I don't feel bad, so why would I keep going? You need to do maintenance. You need to make sure your spine is aligned. I'm thinking as soon as I leave your office, my spine is unaligned. So not really sure why I keep going is anyway. So I get that. I keep thinking to myself, like, what can I do at home or, in the gym or whatever to keep my spine moving and not locked up and tight and vertebrae shrinking and setting on top of each other and all this stuff. It's like, holy cow, there's just a lot to it. But knowing that there is a different idea out there other than just typical doctor with the pill or typical whatever with here's the thing I'm going to give you and you're going to have to pay for that and it's going to be a lot of money, and it's like let's just figure out how we can heal ourselves. I like the idea you mentioned earlier, we as women have the ability to birth babies and we don't realize we can heal ourselves because we're not trained in that. We have no clue. So that's where we need to go find people like you who can tell us how to heal some of these things that we're having issues with.
Yeah, and why I want to train more and more people to, get the word out, to be working with clients. And I don't, my program isn't like for doctors. Like you don't have to be a doctor in order to promote health and to help people grow their health. It's really for anyone who wants to help people be healthier. And yeah, because I think coaching is a great way to really get the word out and put the power into your hands, like everyone's hands, because yeah, all your healing power is within. So learning to access that. And yeah, I think it does help to have, a holistic health coach or maybe a holistic doctor like myself on your team to guide you through some things. But once you get the hang of it, like you should be able to do it on your own. And I'm always there, like for my clients that I help with their chronic illnesses and stuff. Generally, I work with people for about 6 months. And by then they're pretty much symptom free, but I never like drop them. Like if they have a question, at 8 months or a year or whatever, they need a little support, I'm always there for them because yeah, sometimes it's overwhelming. And there's so much information out there, like you said earlier too, about looking stuff up on the internet and self-diagnosing and all that. Like that's a rabbit hole that can add so much stress and anxiety around your health. And that doesn't help. Like the
Yep.
stress and anxiety just it messes things up. You don't want to go there. So having someone that you trust that you can call on for support, even if it's just one question like, oh, I had this crazy symptom today. What's your opinion? And for me, like whatever symptom it would be, I'd be like, well, what do you think it means? Because our symptoms always mean something. And like I said about your intuition, like trusting that, what does that symptom mean? Like I've had people who are always get tired at 3 p.m. and they're like, and then I just need a coffee. Like, well, is your tiredness at 3 p.m. really because of a lack of coffee? And of course it's not.
No.
But then figuring out why they might get tired at 3 p.m. Like, is it because they're getting up too early? It's because their sleep is broken. It's because they're not getting enough protein at lunchtime. So they don't have enough energy to make it through the rest of the day. There's so many things it could be. So just asking a few questions, most people can figure it out with a little bit of guidance. So I love training people how to guide people through all of that. Yeah.
That's perfect. I know almost every day about 5 o'clock, my blood sugar drop, it just tanks. And I'll just feel like, oh my gosh, just not real great at all. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to lay down. I feel bad. I'm like, Becky, just go eat something.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of sugar, something. It's your blood sugar is out of whack, so go get something. And I will, and I'll feel great. It's like I know exactly what it is. I know what time it happens around the same time. Not every day, but at least 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm like, I know what it is. But for years, when my daughter was little, I felt the same way. And I'm like, I never put two and two together. I didn't know what it was. I don't remember ever asking anybody what it was. And it must have gotten better at some point, and now it's coming back. And I'm like, okay. I know
So
what it is.
maybe
And, sorry.
So maybe your natural dinner time is like 4:30 or 5. And
Yeah,
you
I
just,
have to eat earlier.
yeah.
I know some nights, we're busy working, and then if you have other meetings and things after work, and you're not eating till 8 o'clock, forget it. Forget it. It's not even that I'm not even hungry at that point anymore. First of all, and secondly, I just feel bad eating that late. I just blah. I'm not eating at 8 o'clock. And then all you want to do is go sit on the couch and just sit there for an hour and a half before you go to sleep with all that food on your stomach. No, not happening. So, yep, it's exactly what you said. You know your own body better than anybody else,
Well, you
and just,
live in it 24/7.
yep,
So, most people see their doctor for like 15 minutes a year and then
right.
take all that, do whatever they tell them to do. I'm like, but you live in your body 24/7. Like, you know it way better than anyone else. And sometimes just listening, like you just said, you feel that blood sugar crash around 5 o'clock. Well, what if you have dinner at 4:45? Then you're going to avoid the blood pressure
Yep.
or the blood sugar crash and, you know, make sure that you have your meal when you need it. So, just listening, like, okay, so that's your natural dinner time. Maybe it's a little on the early side. I don't know. That's when I like to eat. So,
Well, then it must be okay.
yeah. And it's different
It's,
for different people, but sometimes just
yeah,
pointing out that one thing can make so much of a difference.
yep.
And it's
I,
cool to
I
see
can,
it.
I can totally see that. And, sometimes I am one, people get busy at lunchtime at work and they're like, I'll eat lunch later. I'm working on this thing and not having like a steady time that they eat. And then when that gets shifted around, I don't think your body knows, okay, now what time am I supposed to be hungry, right? One day she ate at 11:30, the next day she's eating at 1 o'clock, the next day she eats at 2:30. Like, what in the world? Not consistent.
Yeah.
So you have to get back onto like a routine of exactly what time you're eating and what you're eating. And the
Yeah.
holidays are a terrible time to be on a good diet for sure, or eating right. I can't do it. I'm eating all kinds of stuff during the holidays. So now it's over. Time to get back on track.
One of the things that I coach people through is rebuilding their gut health. And when that happens, when someone has healthy gut flora, they don't crave all the junk anymore. And it's a lot easier to resist any of the junk that happens at the holidays.
Oh,
So,
cool.
because it's not really you that's craving all the junk food, it's really your junky gut flora. And so
Okay.
fixing that is also a key to lots of other, to healing lots of other things. But that's often a first step that I work with people, and I train all my coaches that I train. It's really easy to see the quality of the gut health from functional blood work, which is just basic blood work read from a functional perspective. And so I train them how to do that so that they can help people fix their gut health. And then, yeah, people don't have junky cravings anymore. So,
Ah. Well,
yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that gut health is like the one of the major things besides sleep, like you already mentioned, is so many people have so many gut issues and they don't realize what it takes or what they should do to get it fixed so they don't have other issues. And so I think, the more gut health information that's out there, the better.
Yeah. Well, there are so many just everyday things in our lives that destroy gut health. It's really hard to have good gut health.
Um,
So it's tricky out there because things like antibiotics, I think most people know those are bad for your gut, but alcohol, terrible for your gut health, and chlorinated water, that's
oh,
really
well.
bad for gut health too. Processed foods are really hard on your gut, but they don't just destroy like the chlorine and the alcohol and the antibiotics do. Um, so, so if you've ever had any of those three, either of those three things, then your gut health needs some attention.
Well, how can you fix chlorinated water? Because it's in your city sewer system. I mean, it's the city water system. It's what you get out of your faucet. How in the world can you fix that?
Well, there are various filtration systems that you can use, and you can get water from like, a lot of the grocery stores have the like reverse osmosis water machines. So there's
Yep.
that. I purposely moved somewhere where I have a well, so
Okay.
that.
It's funny that you said that because I met a woman at a networking event probably a month ago now, and we were talking about teeth for some reason, probably because I had my Invisalign braces on, and we were talking about teeth, and she said that growing up with a well, they didn't realize they didn't have any fluoride in their water system at all, and that as adults, all of their teeth now are just rotting out of their heads. And I'm like, what? I never would have thought that because I was a city girl. I lived with fluoride. I never thought about a well, but some of my relatives had a well. I'm like, holy cow, never considered it. We wouldn't have known that as kids growing up anyway, but never realized how much fluoride really does good for your teeth in the long run. So
Mm,
that was interesting.
science is out on that,
Oh,
but
is it? Oh gosh, see?
um, fluoride's also a neurotoxin. So
Oh, wow.
there's probably another reason besides that they had a well that their teeth were. I mean,
Okay.
it could be nutrition, it could be genetics, there could be all kinds of things, but yeah,
So
fluoride's a
fluoride's
big
not the best thing.
no.
Okay. So when we
No.
go to the dentist and they say we need a fluoride treatment, should we say, yes, I want it, or no, I don't?
I mean, as a holistic doctor, I would say no way.
I figured you would say that.
And with
Okay.
all the research I've done into like you can do the research, and there's a lot out there about like where fluoride comes from and what it's used for and all that kind of stuff and how it affects your brain health and how it affects your bone health. There's lots and lots of things out there that we don't really have time to get into today,
Okay.
but yeah,
I'm
there's some.
writing it down. Go check it out, Becky. Because once a year, they're always telling us, "Good, you got to get your fluoride treatment while you're here." Okay, fine, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is we need to research all the
Yeah.
things doctors are telling us.
Yep. Don't just believe what they tell you.
All right. So closing minutes. Do you have anything special that you want to mention real quick? Other than what we just said was go check stuff out yourself.
Um, I mean, really, the best thing is just trust in yourself, trust your intuition, and um, like bring yourself up. Always like writing that down one good thing your body does for you every day. Like do that. It can only be good for you. We do so many things where we're beating ourselves up. Um, like I need to do more of that. I need to do less of this. I'm not doing this right. All of that kind of stuff. Like trash that thinking, Um, because especially, I mean, as women, we are doing so many things. Like we're daughters, we're mothers, we're sisters, we're aunts, we're professionals, we're chefs, we're house cleaners, we're trying to play too. Like we're doing so many things all the time. And like do something nice for yourself. Like be a little more selfish. I guess that's the big message. Be a little more selfish. Take
I
care of
like
yourself.
that idea. I
Especially as
rarely
women,
do anything like that.
yeah, we tend to just give, 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 and take care of everyone else first. And the airplane thing, put your oxygen mask on first. Us women are terrible about that. And it shows in our health. Women have so much more chronic illness and autoimmune illness than men do. We have so much more trouble with anxiety and depression. There's just a lot that we struggle with, and that I think could be a lot better if we gave ourselves a bit more credit and a bit more leeway and just took care of ourselves a bit better. So
Good idea. So tell us, what is the name of your website and where can we find you on social media?
my website is drelizabethdavidson.com. Doctor is just DR, abbreviated. Probably the most fun place to find me is on YouTube. It's Dr. Elizabeth on there. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. So I'll send you those links so you can put them in the show.
Perfect.
But yeah, Dr. Elizabeth, I'm out there as that in a lot of places. Sometimes there's a VT at the end, like on Instagram, it's Dr. Elizabeth VT because I live in Vermont.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, it's been really good having you on. I appreciate it. I've learned a lot. I need to go get some more sleep. I need to write down some positive things. I need to do something for myself. I'm making a list.
Very good.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.